Hello, everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, I can see lots of different people. Andrea, do you mind if I quickly make you a co-host so you can enable people in the waiting room? Just because I stupidly put on a waiting room and I do not know why. Can you see how the waiting room is? Can you see it? Yeah?
What? 1 minute. Okay.
Okay, I'm muting everyone. There we go. And I've admitted people, but just as they pop up, if you can like bring them in. Okay?
You got it.
All right, awesome. Hi, everybody. So if you're on my team, you already know who I am. If you are a customer of someone on my team, then hopefully you know who I am. But my name is Carol Thompson, and I am the proud leader of the number 8 team currently in Canada right now. And we have been a top 10 team in Canada for a while, so I'm really excited. I'm showing up to you vulnerable and naked because that's how I roll, because that's super fun for me. And you do not have to have your video on for this at all. Just so you know, you can keep it off if you want. You can have your video on. It's totally fine. If you have any questions, ask them in the chat, okay? Or ask them at the end when I do it, because I want to get this done super fast. We do have people joining us from all across the country, and I know it is late for some of you all. Am I right? Yes? Okay. Good. Say hi, everyone. Wave, 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 wave at each other. I'm going to switch to speaker view here so that I can see my face. Andrea is going to let people in the waiting room, and I am just going to get started. I do have a sheet with everything I'm using at the very end so that you can see it. This isn't a selling video because a lot of you are consultants already. This is just a way for you to see the look that I did for my seminar makeup before. So the very first thing I'm starting with, besides great skincare, because great skincare is a must, I will have you know I have had 3 hours sleep, so I do not look super great, but that is okay. Andrea, if you can do me a favor and make sure everyone's muted, that would be awesome too. Does anyone else feel that they could be admitting for me? Anyone else? So Andrea is not like frantic here?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Like I'm doing this from my phone, but it looks like everybody is muted except for me.
Okay.
There's still people that are joining. They're connecting through their audio.
Awesome. Well, I see Angie here. So Angie, I'm going to make you a co-host too, just in case. Just so you can hit the mute as needed. Okay. Sound good? And then Andrea, you can stay on mute too, I think, even if you're letting people in the room. So you're good. There we go. Everybody's muted. Okay. So primer, you don't need a lot. Like a chocolate chip size will do. Okay, I love our foundation primer because it's going to smooth out redness and everything else, all the sins of the day. This is a great thing to wear by itself, but this is a seminar makeup look. This is a fancy look. So I am not doing this like, this is no 5-minute face, all right? Like this is like full makeup. This is my jam, okay? Hang on, how do I do this so that I can see you guys? And, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm looking in a mirror, so I'm okay. If you can't see me at any point, please yell so that I can see, I can stop and like help you out. All right, so primer's on first, and then I am gonna be using 2 different shades of foundation. I love this look just for, especially for light. So I'm gonna be using Ivory N160 Luminous. I'm just putting a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use a really squishy beauty blender. Here's the deal with beauty blenders. They gotta be wet and squishy. The fatter, the better, just like me. Make them squishy. The fluffier, the better. Okay, bounce it on, and I'm just putting the lightest color here in the center of my face just to help pick up light. It's not crazy light. Like I'm not doing that weird, you know, thing that happens on Instagram videos where it's like 10 shades lighter than their actual foundation. It's just creepy. I'm not doing that. And it will adjust as we go. And then I'm using beige N190 here and the edges of my face. Now I don't do this all the time. Lots of times it's usually just beige N190 all by itself. And then I'm just gonna bounce it all over, bouncy bounce, so that it is blended. The secret to good foundation is blending. Before you ask if I'm gonna use a foundation brush, I am gonna use a foundation brush, just not right this second. The first thing I'm doing is a very sheer layer of foundation. And the reason I do that is mostly so that I don't terrify y'all while you're looking at me, and so that I have just a really great base that's gonna kind of melt into my skin as I'm doing the rest of my makeup, okay? And then I'm gonna do my eyes. Now I already have eye primer on because I do like to let it get dry before I put it on. So I let it dry for you. So I guess I wasn't completely naked, but really pretty close. And I'm going to take the All Over Eye Color brush. Now I'm using our brush collection. I did just open a new brush collection for myself because why not? So I'm using the All Over Eyeshadow brush from the brush collection. I'm using Biscotti, which is just a very light shade. It's that middle one. And I'm putting this all over eyebrows to eyelashes. Can you see? Yes? You'll yell if you can't, right? If you're like, Carol, you're looking in the mirror. I do not profess to be a YouTube girl or an Instagram girl or anything else. I'm not telling you that that is who I am, because I'm not. If there is a lull because I am blending, feel free to unmute yourself to ask a question if you need to. Okay, so the secret to everything is blending, blending, blending. Just keep blending. What do? You blend, blend. Okay, so all the way, all over. If Biscotti doesn't work for you, Sandcastle is good too, or Blossom, just something really good and neutral so that it can just give you that great base so that nothing is dragging as well on the primer. And then I'm going to use the crease brush, and I'm using Cinnabar, which is one of my favorites. That's that bottom one. Now the crease brush is a more concentrated brush. Now here's the trick. The more product you want on, the stiffer the brush. The less product you want on, the foofier the brush. Does that help? The softer the brush, the less goes on. So if you've got a bright blush that you love, but you're like, I love it, but it makes me look like clown face, then switch it to a bigger, poofier brush. It's totally fine. So I'm actually taking this one, and I'm gonna do things a little bit different than you might be aware of normally. All right, so I'm gonna lay this one on a little thick. And I do have deep set eyes, you guys. So I gotta go up a little higher than you might be used to. Do you see that? It's like a little greater than, less than sign. Good? There's a few people in the waiting room here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do that first. Always tap off your brushes. Do not blow on them. If you blow on your brush, I'll know, and I'll pull your hair in your sleep. I'll sneak into your house, COVID or not. And you'll be like, what just pulled my hair? Carol did. Okay, so it's just like an angle. Now I'm not worrying about blending this because I'm gonna blend it in a second. So I'm just doing like this. If you have trouble with that shape and you're like, I can't do that, then just do a little rhombusy thing like this, see? Just kind of slap it on. And you can do this with any darker color. Consultants, this is how I used to teach eyeshadow and smoky eyes at every single makeup event I did. So just like this, do not leave it like this. It looks like weird Star Trek eyes or those like Barbies. Do you remember and I'm not old. Do you remember the Barbies with the weird eyeshadow that was like drawn on, not blended? Don't do that. So then I'm gonna go back to my eye color brush, which is my basic one. And I'm going into Hazelnut, which is almost the same color as my skin, you guys. It's just a little bit darker. And I'm going to pull across from there and use this color to blend and to create sort of like a crease. And I do my eyeshadow first, almost all the time. I do a base of foundation, then I do my eyeshadow, and then I come back and do my under eye corrector, just so that I can clean it up because I am not the neatest of people. So can you see that? How that just blends it all out? Yes? Now this is a pretty neutral eye. This is not crazy. This could be a great daytime eye. Fair? I'm gonna take hazelnut on my eye crease brush and I'm going underneath my eye. Now what this does, you guys, is this is an illusion. So it makes it look like my eye is so big that it makes a shadow underneath. It's just so large instead of being pea holes in the snow, which is what my eyes are. They're gone. They're just like gone. Those of you who have seen me only in pictures are like, who the heck is this person? I promise I don't use crazy filter apps. That is my face just with like makeup on. Okay, and then I'm just gonna deepen it up just a little bit with that Cinnabar. Okay, so that's basic. Can you see that? Now I'm going in with my black eyeliner. That is not eyeliner. I don't have my glasses on because of course I'm doing my makeup. And I have it all laid out in front of me so I don't mix it up because it would be funny to put a brow liner on or something else. Do you guys remember the Crayola boxes with that little sharpener? That's what ours has in it. Full disclaimer, I never have the lid. Never have the little thingy that goes over the little thingy. It's always gone. It's always gone. Doesn't matter where I am. Carol never has a lid to anything, really, honestly. Her primer doesn't have a lid on it. Her foundation doesn't have a lid on it. This is my life. And I am going to, and I like to just dot this on because I don't want a lot of liner, but I kind of want it everywhere. Now, everybody's eyes are different. Mine happen to be a little bit more close set. So it's okay if I have a little bit more eyeliner at the edge. And then I'm gonna take my smudger brush. Now this is hard to show you and the camera at the same time. So I'm gonna, can you see it? I'm gonna just smash this around. Smash it. Push it real good. Just kill it, like really. There should not be a harsh line. This is not like liquid liner. Okay, you do a harsh line, you're gonna be sad. Oh, very sad lady if you do a harsh line. And then I'm just gonna pull any excess product just sort of to the edge of my eye here. Do you see how much bigger my eye looks? Not a filter, y'all, just makeup. So I will do that on this side. Anybody have any questions for me? It's very quiet. It does feel like sort of like I'm screaming into the void, but I see your faces, so I know I'm not talking to myself.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What would you recommend to do when you are either using eyeshadow or eyeliner on your bottom lash and your eyes water a lot?
I am actually going to show you that.
Beautiful.
So, because my eyes do water a lot. So the first secret is to smash this a lot. You don't want any excess product. Any excess product is going to run down your face. And this is the trick for anything. You guys, you know those Instagram videos where they're like, here, I'm going to paint it on. You do not want to see those ladies 4 hours later in sunlight. I promise. It will look like they're melting. That will not be pretty. The less product, the better, and blend and blend and blend. Now, I'm doing this for the video, but I literally would spend probably another 3 or 4 minutes blending this out. So, like, do not skip in here on this step. But literally, the second this is over, I'm literally taking my makeup off again. So, it's fine, okay? So, I'm just gonna smash it around a lot. And pull, you see how I'm pulling it up a little bit? And I'm just kind of deepening up that little tiny notch of a V. Now, if your eyes tend to run, mine do too. I find a lot of that has to do with dryness underneath my eyes. Now, I am wearing eye cream. But first of all, I am 44 years old, which means I do have a little bit of eye crinkles. And I also have some bit of runny eyes issues. So I'm going to take Soothing Eye Gel. And while this eyeshadow is setting, I'm just going to tap this just here on the bone. Not up by my eye because it's going to travel a little bit. But I'm just going to cool this whole area down. with some soothing eye gel. The other thing that works really well, and I don't have it like in front of me, but extra emollient night cream, just a little tiny dab right there. It's super weird, but it super works. I don't know why, but it works. And I put that on, and now I'm gonna top it in with the naked edge of my Beauty Blender sponge. Because I don't want a lot on. I mean, I'm not doing like a spa treatment. I just want it to kind of hydrate right there. Just so my eyes aren't runny. Okay? Good? Now I am gonna put false lashes on because that is my jam. But I'm not gonna do that right this second. I am going to find the lid for my eyeliner because that
I
is
had a question
we want the
too.
lid. Go ahead.
I just did makeup on my friend for her wedding, and when I was doing the eyeliner, her eye like lid part where the eyeball is was very small and kind of wrinkly. So I was trying to do her eyeliner, and I pulled just gently, and when I let go, the line went up. I fixed it. I did it again. I let go and it went up, and it was because I was pulling her eye, right?
Yeah. So
Don't touch the eye.
don't do that. So when we have
Yeah.
our eyeliner super soft, so if you have an eyeliner that goes like
Yeah.
as you're putting it on, either you're not using Mary Kay or yours is very old. It's like one of those signature ones or something from a million years ago.
I mean, I was still using a powder because I was trying, my eyeliner hadn't come in yet because I'm a new consultant. So
Okay.
I was using a powder with an angle brush, and I was trying to get really close to her eyelashes because I knew she didn't have much room.
Yeah, but you can't pull. So
Yes,
did you see,
okay.
I didn't pull. All I do is I like to dot it,
Okay.
like tiny little dots, and then I take my smudger brush and smoosh it back and forth, but I didn't pull my eye.
Yes.
Because I guarantee you, if you actually did pull my eye, you'll see little dots that are missing.
Right.
But my eye is gonna, like, you want it to look the way it looks. No
Yes,
one's gonna
without-
walk up to you like this.
Yes.
Let me see, is
exactly.
it pretty? Now it is.
When you hold your face up, it's
Right.
great.
So we don't want
Okay.
that. So that's why we are gonna
So
just put
that's
it on
why.
like that. And then
Okay.
that's what I mean about less is more, because if I put too much on, it will just keep going and going and going.
Almost
And
the
then-
same thing with, I've noticed with the blush sometimes. If you smile when you put it on, then when you stop smiling, it's in a different spot and sometimes
It's in
doesn't
a
look
different
great.
spot. I'm actually gonna talk about that too, because
Yeah.
that happens a lot, especially as we age.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing that happens as we age. Our eyes tend to go from here, lifted, to set. So, and the other thing is if you put a ton of shadow or product right here and you have crow's feet, it starts to travel like a little river down your face. And you will walk up to somebody who's like got some tributaries and there will be sparkles all the way down. So you want your line to go between your nose and the end of your brow. That's where you want to build it up. And I like to just build that edge up just a little bit, just to create that illusion of a more lifted eye. Now, my eyes are not the same size. Nobody's are, but you know, mine in particular are not. This one is a little bit smaller. So I'll actually put more eyeshadow on it. Because here's the thing, nobody's looking at you like this, like just a second, this one, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1. No, like they're just doing it like that. So they're just seeing it and figuring it out from there. So do you see where it's like puffy up here? That's where you want to minimize, especially with a deep set eye. So my favorite trick with the deep set eye is to go straight across with something that is a very similar tone to your skin tone. So in this case, it's hazelnut. And I'm going almost like there's very little of my eyebrow showing. Just so that you see now with that little tiny bit under my brow is showing. And it just makes that eye look even more lifted. Do you see the difference? And it's such a small amount of product, like it's very little. So again, if you have hooded eyes or deep set eyes, go straight across, way up high. Way up north. Sorry, that dated me too. Okay? North to Alaska. All right, ready? So I am going to put some mascara on because I like mascara, and I am gonna put eyeshadow, or sorry, false lashes on, but it doesn't matter. I still want a little bit of mascara just so I have a base. And there are lots of times I use this look without any mascara or without any false lashes on. So remember, here's what you do when you do mascara. You wiggle it just a little bit, right? Wiggle, roll it, and then poke it. I don't know what the typical term is, but I like to fan them out. So you want to roll it because there's product on the other side of the wand. Wiggle to get the product at the base. This is very hard to do while talking. If I stab myself in the eyeball, just know you too can be a top director. Now I am going to put some shimmer on my lid, but I'm not going to do that yet. So, sorry. Not a lot of mascara because I do like to take a long time doing my mascara, but I just wanted you to see with mascara on. Now, if you are one of the sinners who does not do her brows, give your head a shake. Sin. Dishonor. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your gal. Dishonor. Use brow pencil and brow gel. I use 2 different colors. I use dark brunette and light brunette. So the dark brunette I am using, and very lightly. Here's the thing. Anybody play baseball? You don't want to choke up on the bat. You don't want to be up here, because if you're up here, then the more product goes on, and then you end up looking very surprised. And like a cartoon character. You don't want that. You want to be very far at the end because you don't want a ton of pressure. And never start here, or unless you really like angry eyes, like in Toy Story when she's like, I'm packing your angry eyes. So short, light strokes. I'm just doing a little bit underneath and just a little bit up top. Can you see the difference already? See? And again, just a little bit. Now, normally I'm like making out with the mirror because again, I'm old, but I will do my best. As long as it looks good to you guys, that's all that really matters, right? It's that line from Clueless, like she's a full-on Monet. Like up close, it looks crazy. And then I'm gonna use my brunette. And this is a warmer color. So I'm just gonna use this mostly up top just to warm it up just a little bit, just so that it's not quite harsh. Now here's my favorite brow trick. When you've got your brow pencil on, I take my fingers like this and I look surprised for a couple of seconds, but don't move your fingers. Don't move them. Keep them like this and then release because it's going to melt that liner to your brow. And it just makes it look a little bit more flawless and a little bit more blended, but you didn't have to do anything. And I'm a big fan of not having to do anything. And then I'm going to take, and again, I use 2 different colors of brow tint. I'm going to use the dark brunette. I like to roll it on my hand first to take off any excess product because you don't want to gloop it. And always go against the hair super gently. You're not drawing on your skin. So you're going to get Spock eyebrows for a second. It's fine. Don't panic. You want to let it dry. So like that. And then I'm going to take some of the lighter, the brunette one. So a little bit of warmer color again. Now you do not have to have 4 colors. I do because I just find that brunette by itself is too light and dark brunette by itself is too dark. I'm going to let that dry. Let it dry. Let it dry. So, because if I don't let it dry and I try to brush it out, it will end in tears and recrimination. And it will be all creepy and I will have stuff all over my face. And that's when you're like, that's it, I'm not going. You know, when you do that to yourself, right? No, I can't be the only one who does this. That's it, I'm not going. It's your sister's wedding. I don't care. Tell her I've always hated her. Doesn't matter. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to use some under eye corrector, Sleep in a Stick, my favorite products ever. Here is the best way to apply. Do not do that weird 17 pounds triangle thing unless you just really, really like to look wrinkly. Because here's the deal. This has got an illuminator in it. It's going to pick up on things you might not want it to pick up on. And then it is like a gigantic beacon going, hey, she has wrinkles. You don't want that. So here and here. Good? Yes, you're with me? Here and here. Okay? Yes? Good.
On my inner corner of the eyes, my skin is very bumpy, like not pimply, just like bumpy.
Who said bumpy? I like it.
Bumpy. I know, like in here. So like, what can I use for Mary Kay that would like smooth that out?
You might want to check with your dermatologist or your eye specialist to see if it's not some sort of like, you know, you can get like a skin infection that can do that too. So check first.
Okay, because it's
To
just
make
very
sure.
flat bumps. It's not red or anything. They're just
Yeah,
bumps.
that's usually like Melier and things like that that are
Okay.
like a skin infection. So that's
Oh,
not something
okay.
you can cure. But yeah, it's a topical cream
Oh,
that
perfect.
you can
Okay.
put on. I often get an infection on right here, like a little bit of a skin
Yeah, right
infection
there,
from
yeah.
underneath my eye pads from my glasses.
Oh, yeah, and
only
I'm
on
wearing
one
glasses
side.
now, and I never used to, so.
So bacteria. Yeah, it's weird. I know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use my squishy. See how squishy? If it is hard as a rock, it's bad. And I'm just gonna take, and I'm not gonna actually blend the whole amount in with this. I'm using this to take off a little excess product. And I did put it on pretty thick for you guys because I want you to be able to see where the heck it's going. So I just took a little excess off. It's still there. You see it, right? Okay. It's like, I see dead people. Okay. So now I'm going to use my finger. And I know we don't usually use our fingers for eyeshadow and makeup application, but there's something to be said about the heat from your finger that just helps to emulsify that product in. And don't drag, just press it in. And then you're going to go here underneath. You just don't want to go, do you see where your lashes end underneath your eye? Like this part? You don't want the under eye corrector to be there because then it's going to just beacon it all out. I mean, better than no under eye corrector. I think, I mean, better to look wrinkly than like you've never slept in your life. But see? Now I do like it to look a little bit brighter. So I'm going to use a light ivory concealer in the same spot, but just a little bit less. Okay.
So Carol, because I have some fine lines right where you're putting your outside dots, you think that using the eye gel there would prevent that enough that I could use that?
Yeah.
I only do my highlighter right here because I don't want.
So if you have like a more of a, because my eye crinkles are here because I tend to smize a lot. So my crinkles are there. So you got to go with wherever your crinkles are. That's where you might want to use concealer because concealer doesn't have a reflector. And then under eye corrector where it's okay if it reflects.
Okay.
Okay. So my eyes are very deep set. And like, I have to brighten underneath here too to bring that all the way forward. Sorry. Okay, you have time to ask me a question. I'm blending. Anybody? Just keep blending. You guys are all going to sing that now when you're doing your makeup. Just
I'll add in another question.
go ahead.
So you wear glasses. What is your best method for not having your foundation remove itself from where your glasses sit?
Beauty blotters
Mm-hmm.
on the iPads and a little tiny little bit of finishing spray every once in a while with a Q-tip
Really?
on the iPads. It helps a lot. And then of course finishing spray on your face, but just that helps a lot to make it not pick up and drag away.
Okay, because I find that even with like translucent powder and finishing spray, if I just do like just a neutral layer of both of them, that does not keep my sunglasses from taking off my makeup.
From taking it right off. And the other thing
yeah.
is too, if you're having trouble with it, like where it's gonna really take away, then spray your beauty blotter or your beauty blender with finishing spray and push that, only that areas.
Okay,
It really keeps it on.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
because I have not slept, my nose is a little redder than the rest of my face. So I am just gonna take my light ivory. And here's a trick. If you look really tired, right there, you might not realize it. If you just take your under eye corrector or your concealer right there, it makes a huge difference in your, this is a pretty look for me. I like it. just gonna keep wearing it like this. But this helps to just kind of brighten that area up and just make you look a little bit more awake. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of concealer there. Just because it's lighter. Okay? You with me? We're almost done here, people. This is not that hard, like it's easy. So I want a little bit more foundation on because it's awards night. So this was, when it said seminar night, this was our awards night. We did do this virtually, which was super weird for me, but whatever. So I'm gonna go back to my beige N190 and my Beauty Blender sponge, and I'm just gonna bounce it everywhere again, but not over top of where I put under eye corrector. Okay, I don't need any more product there. Just all over, and make sure you're down here so you don't get weird cake face. Remember, Luminous foundation especially has a bit of a golden undertone. So if you first put it on, you're like, what the hell? It is because it's a little bit yellow. It's kind of like when you paint the ceiling and it's got that pink undertone so that you don't lose where you were spotting before. That's what it does. So it's gonna adjust, so don't panic. The first time I tried to color match this, I was like, this is wrong. This is very bad. Now I have oily skin, but I love the Luminous foundation for Zoom calls, especially. Do you see how it picks up the light? Just makes me look a little bit more alive and youthful, which I specifically enjoy. All right. I'm gonna take some latte contour and my beautiful cheek brush. Do you see how this is angled? You gotta use the angles. If you don't use the angles, you will be sad. Now, look at your face. And when you're smiling, your cheekbones are up here, and then you're sad, and they're here. So what we wanna do is we wanna put them where we want them to be all the time. Okay, there's nothing on this brush. But you can see, I mean, I am Ukrainian. I got some good cheekbones going on, but you can see where I want it to go. Everybody's face is different. If you don't know where to put contour, my advice to you is get one of those super creepy apps. Those ones that put full makeup on you so you look like a robot. Those ones, do not publish those. No one needs to see you looking like Voldemort with no eye, no nose. I don't know what's happening with those things, but they're great for showing you where the contour should go, even though they put way too much on. So if you take your picture and then you do it there, you can really tell where it should go. Do less than that, but it shows you where it should go. Okay, so I'm gonna take my latte contour and I'm going to lightly brush it here, and then I like to curve it here around my cheeks because I'm pretty smiley. So that's my jam. Does that mean it's going to be your jam? I don't know. It's not my face. This is my face. I didn't promise you I would teach you how to use it, do it for everybody. I just said I would do it for me. So today, this is me. So not a ton of product. Do you see that? And then I'm gonna blend it a lot with the other side of the brush that doesn't have anything on it because it is easier to build up product than it is to take it away. So a little bit goes a very long way. Now here's the general rule though. General rule. If you're a How I Met Your Mother fan, you get that reference, general rule. But generally speaking, you're gonna go contour, blush, highlight. Does that mean the highlight's necessarily gonna go right here? No, it just means that's the order. Don't put highlight anywhere that you don't want people to see that. So if you have larger pores around your nose, you don't put a shimmery blush right there. Fair? If you've got a bunch of crinkles up here, you don't put your stuff right there. So my advice is to take your light, sit underneath it, and be like, where does the light hit? Do you see that? Where's the light hitting me? I don't have any highlighter on, but I know I want it approximately there. Okay? So the color of blush I'm going to use is Rosy Nude, and I'm doing that on this part of the brush. And I'm gonna tap it off. No blow. Tappity tap. If you tend to be putting blush on and it's very splotchy, switch your technique and put translucent powder on before your blush. Stops any drag, especially with luminous foundation. So if you tend to get like, it never blends right, do your translucent powder first. But mine blends, so I'm doing it this way. So it's just gonna go slightly above, not like crazy above, like it's still touching where the latte was. And it's going right here. And again, curving up just a little bit towards my nose. Can you see that? Yes? Now let's say you put it on and you're like, oh no. Thou shalt not judge thy blush until thou hast thy lipstick on. Okay? You can always tone it down afterwards, but if you spend your whole day going, oh no, it's too much blush, then you put your lipstick on, you look like a corpse, you'll be sad. Okay? So don't judge till you've got it all on. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, see that? And just still the same color. Okay? And then my highlight is actually a blush. And I'm gonna boost that highlight up a bit, but I'm gonna use Shy Blush on the very back of this brush. So I used blush here, contour on the end, and then the Shy Blush just right there. Shy Blush is not necessarily a highlight, but it is like a peachy tone. And I'm just putting this right here, just to give that visual lift. And I'm pressing it in more than smooshing. See that? Now my favorite trick for blending brush like blushes is to use the mineral powder foundation brush after you've done all that and just smash it so that you don't have any weird stripes. And then always take any excess and pull it above your brow just a little bit because it's gonna wake your face up. Okay? You with me so far? Questions, comments, concerns? No? Now, I do like to contour underneath this area. Now, you do not need to create yourself a little beard. Okay? So, you ready? This is gonna be really pretty. See this? That's where I want it. Okay? So if I go like this, and I go like this, and I pull, then I'm gonna put the contour on the other side of that brush. Okay, again. So it's just gonna go like right there. I hope you didn't screen cap that, I know. And it's like, I love you, I know. I'm funny. So do not do it like this. Do you see that? That's nuts. You will look like a 5 o'clock shadow. Don't do it. So my mineral powder brush is still my favorite for that. So if you do it and you're like, oh no, pull downwards. There's nothing on that brush, by the way. It's just naked. Okay? So light, 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 not a lot. You think you can't see it, but other people can. Now, if you tend to be wider faced, you can go like this, figure it out where it needs to go for you. But this is not drawing dark concealer like this and then down your neck and the weird stripy stripes. Seriously, stop it. Stop it. That's what I say. Okay, good? Now, you can do what Diana Carrero did. If you are a Mary Kay consultant, you know what I'm talking about. With the pressed ivory foundation, I like to use an Ivory 0.5 mineral powder foundation if this one's almost empty, not coming out of the container. So I am going to use that other one because I can't get any out. I just put this down here. Hold, please. Please ask me questions. There it is. Anybody questions? No? This is Ivory 1 pressed powder. I was going to use mineral powder, but I couldn't get it open. So I'm going to take my brush, just the other side, and I'm going to go like this and lay it on just a little bit and push it on. You know what? I'm going to use my my beauty blender so you can see. Because what I want to do is really bring my contour forward without having weird chevron face. So I'm going to lay this powder on like that. Can you see that? And now the reason I usually choose mineral powder, the loose mineral powder, is just because it's a little less product. That's all. Okay?
If you have a wider jaw, like I do, and I'm always trying to narrow my face, do I want to still do that line? Because wouldn't that bring my jaw out?
No, you wouldn't want to do that, right?
Okay.
So then for a
That's what I
wider
was thinking.
face, if you have more of a square face, Adrian?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So then with a square face, you want to put your contour here. So you want to
little
bring your
above.
highlight right there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically you want to look at your face and you want to see where does the light hit it when it's just right on me.
Yeah.
That's where I want lighter colors to be.
Okay.
And then the edges are darker. And
Okay.
not a ton. We're not trying to reshape
Yes.
your whole damn face, but just
Yeah.
a little.
What do you do about dark shadow on your upper lip? Like you don't
Oh.
have any hair there. You know,
Under
not
eye corrector.
there. Pardon?
Watch, I'll do it for you, okay?
Okay.
Hang on. I am just gonna, I'm not sure if I put any powder there, so I just want to make sure I'm not layering a cream over top of a powder because that would be just tragedy. Okay, watch. Under eye corrector, not a ton. Okay, on the back of your hand. And then I do like to mix it with a bit of a lighter concealer. So this is the light ivory. I'm gonna mix this together. And do I have, yeah, I have a cream color brush here. So what you wanna do is you wanna, and you can do this anytime, even if you don't have any darkness. This is a great way to make your lips look more full. See that? Okay, and then don't forget this, the ridges. Ruffles have ridges. Okay, so the ridges right here. And then if you are having some discoloration, you want to kind of pull that up as you're blending it. Can you see that?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Good. Serum C is your best friend for that too. And don't forget, a lot of times that is way below the surface and it is hormonal. So if nothing's working, that's when you get yourself to laser or something like that. Like really go into the deep surface or the vampire facials. The microneedling is the only thing that worked for me. I had a big discoloration melasma spot from childhood that wasn't going away. And I had to go get that whole pokey, you know, when you can't go outside for 4 days because you look like you've been through the war. That thing. It was really expensive, but okay. So now I'm just taking, same thing, I'm taking my mineral powder brush. Now you could take your foofier one, but I really want to blend this because it's been sitting there a while. If it hadn't been sitting there so long, I wouldn't worry about it. But since it was, I really don't want it to stay there for very long. So I want to kind of blend it out. Do you see that? So it's not like white stripes on your face. You don't want that. Good? Okay. So now, I told you I was going to highlight a little bit more. I'm going to take our Light Beam liquid eyeshadow. I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hands. I'm going to go into my cream color brush, which I just put foundation on or concealer on. So I'm going to wipe that off. You can put this over powder eyeshadow. So I'm going to press it right here to bring my eyes forward. So I'm gonna do it really close. Hopefully I don't mess it up. But can you see that? And because I have a deep set eye, I want that shadow or that shimmer to be on my lid. If you are thinking, what's lid? Lid is where you can feel eyeball underneath. If you cannot feel eyeball, it's not lid. Okay? I feel like that Lysol commercial from the 80s. Clean, yes, germ, no. Can you feel eyeball? Okay. So a little bit right here and just push. And then into the tear duct. Just right in there. Okay. Good. Whatever's left on my hand, I'm going to smash it around really well. And I'm just going to very gently rub it down the center and on the sides of my face. So it's not a lot. You don't want to like a stripe. Just a tiny little bit of shimmer. Okay. And then I'm going to do my lips. Lip liner. See, I told you. Again, where the heck's the lid for this? I don't know. But it has a sharpener. This is medium nude. I'm not going to talk while I put this on, because every time I do, I end up like, why so serious? So I always do underneath, and then I go like this. So you don't have too much. Y'all, I like seriously wear this a lot by itself. And then do up here. See, I'm talking. But when you do the upper lines, do not draw downwards. You're drawing upwards in short, feathery strokes. Comme ça. Do you see that? Uh-huh. Ready? Like that. If you want your lips to look fuller, watch this. Darker on the sides. Cool, right? So very simple. And then I'm taking Pink Starlight liquid eyeshadow. I know. Liquid eyeshadow on your lips? Who cares? It's pigment. I love this because it is shimmery and beautiful, and it stays on crazy, crazy well. And it hits the light like nobody's business. Do you see that? Ooh. Okay. Now that being said, just because it's pigment, I did say it's pigment, who cares? If it does not say eye or is not something formulated for the eyes, don't put it on your eyes. No lipstick on your eyes, no crayons on your eyes, no 5-minute face hacks. I will pull your hair and you will feel it. Now I'm going to go into translucent powder, and I am going to use a foofy brush for this one. The bigger and foofier the brush. The translucent powder does have a locking lid. Please make sure you lock it, especially if it's in your purse. So fun story, if you already know the story, I'm sorry, but I was meeting my friend Jill, who is a police officer, for coffee. And I opened my translucent powder with the air conditioning on in my car, and it just went like this. So it was in my eyeballs, it was in my nose, it was like full, like this. And I'm going, and she's knocking on my window. So I roll it down like this and just look right at her. And she's like, really, Carol? Really? I live in Okotoks. Apparently there's a cocaine problem here. Who knew? And she's like, I know they call it Okotoks, but right in the parking lot. Listen, if I thought I could get more done, just kidding. I'm kidding. So a little bit of translucent powder. Start in the center of your face. Don't talk while you're doing it. Here's the cool thing about translucent powder. Is it's clear, so it matches everybody. Doesn't make any of our darker skin clients look ashy. And it has like light reflectors in it. It's like little disco balls. So it is going to bounce light back at you. So here's the thing. If you watch Grace and Frankie, those people do not look as good in the darker light as they do in the lighter light. You can guarantee yourself that there's 7,000 lights on them at all times. Because the devil wants to give you wrinkles and he lives in the dark. God wants you to look good. Shines the light on you. So I pull out my Southern Baptist. Okay, I don't have any Southern Baptist, but just one of my personalities apparently. So that's my translucent powder. Then I'm gonna take my finishing spray. Again, finishing spray pixelates your face, so it makes you look more flawless, even if you have nothing else underneath it. So it's great, even if all you're doing is primer and some translucent powder and no foundation. It can still help to make your skin look even more flawless because it's gonna bounce the light off and it's going to immediately blend. So I'm not gonna talk when I do this either.
My mom was just saying about getting so much makeup on her mask, and I'm like, I haven't been, and I'm like, oh, I've been using the finishing spray.
Yes.
That's why.
Mm-hmm. And like if you have a trouble with transfer, things like that, that's where like a luminous product is not going to give you the best results for that. You're going to want to go matte, right? So like a CC cream is going to transfer more than a matte foundation will. It's just the way it works. There's a drawback to it. So now that I have my lipstick on, I feel a little corpseified still, especially in this bright, bright light. So I'm gonna go back in and give myself just a little bit more color, especially right there. So again, this is why thou shalt not judge till thou hast thy makeup on. All of it. Okay? So the pièce de résistance, which is not something we sell, and I'm really glad we don't because I really don't want to deal with it, but is false eyelashes. Now, I will tell you the second or third time you wear your false eyelashes, it goes on even better. So if it's the first time you're wearing them and like the very first application, they're going to hate you. That's just how it works. They're very straight and very flat, and your eye is not very straight and very flat. So it makes it annoying otherwise. So don't try to make it like super straight and flat. So you want it to be all curvy because these have been used before. They are already curvy for my eyes. I buy these in like a 5-pack at Winners, but I like the Quo ones and the Ardell ones. So you want something with like a clearer line at the top, not those big thick band ones, unless you just really don't like yourself and you want to feel pain. I mean, if you do, it's okay. I'm not judging you, I am, but don't do that. Those are for Halloween. And they just, all they do is they're really stretchy. So they pull your eye the whole night and then you're like crying. So I use the Duo Lash Glue. I'll show it to you really quick. Hang on. It is the formaldehyde-free sensitive skin one. So it's green and white. Do not freeze this. You will cry. My husband is making a lot of noise in the background. And I'm hoping he understands by me saying he's making a lot of noise in the background that nothing he's doing is that important right now, because I will be done in 5 minutes. I really hope he understands that. I'm sure he will, right? Of course, you know, my husband is lovely, but he doesn't get subtleties. So he's the kind of guy who would be like, why are you kicking me? What? So never apply it like this. See this goop? Don't do it. Wait. If it's white when it first goes on, and it will turn almost like a blue when it's ready to go on. So it's about 30 seconds. And while that's resting, mess with it. Like molest it. Pull, twist, pop it, twist it, pull it, tug it. Okay? Because it's a polymer. This is my science teacher background. It's a polymer. You want the bonds of the polymer to stretch out. So you have it like this. It's getting ready to go. There is a dog hair on it. That will not end well. There we go. Pets. Again, see? Still goopy. Not fun. Any questions for me while I wait? Don't blow on them. Your mouth is gross.
If anything, I'll add in not a question, but a tip for false lashes because I use them for competitive ballroom dancing. When you are using a brand new pair, if you want to do it like the night before, put it on like, not a pen, but like your brush and put them around your brush, and that will help give them a curve ahead of time so that they apply easier.
That's right. That is a very good tip. And don't Nobody's eyelashes are the same size as they are coming out of the package. You got to trim them, okay? And don't mix up which one's which. Okay, the best way to actually do this is to be looking down at the mirror, but it's very hard to show you and look down at the mirror, so I'm not gonna do that. But yes, Anna's right. You wanna make sure that you are molesting that as much as possible before the glue goes on and while the glue is on. So what I do, you guys, is everybody's got little folds of skin. You wanna get under that little fold and then push it down. It's very hard to show you like this, sorry. And pinch it, okay? So that it's going underneath that little fold. And then my favorite, especially because I do wear glasses, is I like to hold it in place like this with 2 fingers, one on each side, and push it up so that it's gonna be more curved. So it's not gonna sit straight out from my face, it's gonna be more curved. Okay? And then you have to push it down again, obviously. Now, do you see why I like false eyelashes? So the next jerk that is like, what filter is that, Carol? You can be like, she don't use one. Good makeup and light. If I could get you all to follow me around with just the zoom light all the time, that would be great. I think that's why my husband likes me, because he's 6'6" and he only sees me at selfie angle. It's all like boobs and teeth. Okay, so I'm gonna paint this again. Ask me questions while this is setting. Go ahead.
What do you use to clean your beauty blotter at night, Carol?
I use the 3-in-1 cleansing bar. That is the best sponge cleaner in the whole world. And I bought the Sephora one that was like 45 bucks. Ours is awesome. And yeah, you should clean it when?
Every night.
And I'm lazy, so I actually clean it every day before I use it because it can be wet, so it's okay. Okay? Now, I was gonna show you, I do often use the liquid foundation brush for my foundation as well. It's just gonna be a bit heavier of an application. So it just kind of shows you that you can mess around with it and play with what you like. We also have a blending brush like this, the paddle one.
Mm-hmm.
I love this after everything is done. So I'm gonna show you this in a second. But it is one of my favorite tricks and tips to use. So it never has foundation on it. I actually use it at the very end before I leave the house. So slide it up. Okay, you want to slide it up. It's going to look like a spider on your face. It's fine. Poke it to one end and let it sit there, and then curl it, curve, 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 and pull it around. Do not try false eyelashes 10 minutes before you're supposed to be somewhere. Again, it will end in tears and recrimination. Okay, the best time to play and practice with makeup or try a new look is not before you're going to an event. It's actually before you're going to bed. Because if you're going to bed anyway, it's okay if you mess it up. And the worst that can happen is it looks great and you take a bunch of selfies and then go to bed. But wash your face first. Again, I'll know. You age 7 days for every day you go to bed with your face on. And I don't care if that means you were wearing makeup or not. In fact, I think it's even worse if you weren't, because makeup acts like a protector, especially good makeup. So when you go to bed with your face naked, even if you didn't wear any makeup today, the world is disgusting and it goes into your pores. And then your body is working very hard to purge all that. And then you get up in the morning and you don't wash your face and it goes right back in. And then you're like, Carol, why am I old? That's why. Okay. Now, I do like to take my mascara and really quickly just make sure it's blended together. So just go underneath. Don't do mascara on the whole lash unless you really dig the Tammy Faye Baker look. Now these are big, but whatever. I'm a big personality. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to put a tiny little bit of the light beam right here at the very top of my mouth there, just so it pulls that up a little bit. And then I love to take a naked blending brush and just very, very, very gently go downwards and make sure everything is blended. And then, this is my favorite. I tried to show this the other night, but I couldn't find my Beauty Blender. Like it was gone. It just bounced somewhere and I could not find it to save my life. So I did not do it. But take a Kleenex or tissue, depending where you live demographically, split it up, wrap it around your sponge, comme ça, and bouncy bounce. Because anything that's coming off shouldn't be on your face. And this is what causes it to settle in your wrinkles. It's what causes it to look cakey. It's what causes it to oxidize because it has not bonded to your skin yet. So if it isn't already, it's not gonna. And then it's gonna look gross later. So don't skip this step. And the other night, Moira asked me if you can use a beauty blender or beauty blotter. And a beauty blotter is great, but it takes the oil out of products. I want a little bit of oil on my product so it sits on my face and makes it dewy. So I don't want it to look like that. I want to take off just the excess product, not the oil out of it. Do you see how much it took off? Now, it's not a ton, right? But that will oxidize on my face and it will make it look like I have bigger pores and more wrinkles in places I don't want it to. So that's it. Hello. I'm going to show you the all of the stuff. I painstakingly made this for you today so you can see it all. If you are a customer, we aren't selling on this call. We are just chatting. So your consultant will hook you up. If you are my customer, then I will hook you up. Just yell at me. So I started with foundation primer, which is 23 bucks. Then I went on to our matte, or actually this is luminous foundation. I used the wrong picture. I used luminous foundation. We do have it in matte. I use soothing eye gel, eye primer. I used actually only 3 of these shades. I could use the Onyx if I wanted to really deepen this up, but I think it's dark enough for right now. I used the black twist up mechanical eyeliner pencil, the Fanorama mascara, under eye corrector and concealer in light ivory. And then I used the brow defining pencils. Now I did use 2 of those and 2 of the brow tints because I'm high maintenance. Oh, I didn't brush my brows out. They still look pretty good, but I didn't. So I'm gonna do that really quick here. Ooh. Just so there's nothing left over and I can smooth them the way I want them. So that's the brow thing. And then right here, there's something sticking. Like one of my lashes is stuck underneath because sometimes that happens, especially when you're talking, when you're trying to apply false lashes. There we go. So that helps there. I use the Latte Contour Rosy Nude and Shy Blush for my cheeks. They're $15 each. I love our blushes because they come in their own little compact. So you don't have to buy a compact or a palette for it. But we have lots of different cool palettes that you can use. They're magnetic, so they stay put and you don't have to fill the whole compact. And you don't have to like keep different compacts just because you like one color. So this is our perfect palette. And then we have the Pro, which is a big mama drama. And then we have a Petite as well. I use the medium nude lip liner with the pink Starlight liquid eyeshadow. And I did use Light Beam as well. And then that's the brush set. It's pretty simple. Translucent powder and finishing spray. These are things I think everybody needs in their collection at all times anyway. And you can just see how when you put them together in a different way, you get different results. That's it. So hopefully it was an hour exactly. Woo! Victory is mine. And I hope that helped. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. You can talk. You don't have to just chat. If you did chat and I didn't see it, somebody needs to read them to me because I don't have my glasses on and I can't see it.
Lighten up, how can you lighten up? Like I have kind of a deep frown here, and I do use the deep cream, which helps, but I still have it a
Okay,
bit.
so what you want to do, if you want to look, okay, hang on just a second. Let me, here. Okay. Like a paper airplane, you ready? Now y'all, consultants who are watching this and you're like, wow, Carol knows all this stuff. How the heck do you think I learned it? By going to everything and learning it that way and playing and being confident and listening. I didn't take any special classes. And 5 years from now, I'll be like, this idiot Carol used to do it this way. And it was totally wrong. So it's okay. All right, here's your face, right? Not actually, obviously. But what we want to do is we want to bring forth the shadow. So we want to minimize here and maximize here in the center. So what I would do is I would take, I don't even know if I would take a cream product, but you know, you can use eyeshadow for this too. Like you can use like Biscotti or Blossom and a very fine tip. Like don't mix up your brushes. Don't use the brow brush. Like make it, label it or something so you don't mess it up and have color on it where it shouldn't be. But you could take your like edged eyeliner brush and paint it with some eyeshadow or something. But right there in the crevice, experiment with that. Try like a light ivory concealer or try a Biscotti or a Blossom. Nothing shimmery, but a matte, lighter color. And then on the edges where it's puffier, try hazelnut. And then blend that. You don't want it to look super obvious, but you can see the big difference that hazelnut makes in such an easy way. Okay, does that help? Play with it.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Like even if I just take, hang on, I'll show you. So hopefully this is helpful for lots of you, but I'm just gonna take the latte because it's easier to shove my finger into. But if I go like this, on each side of this crevice, does that not bring that middle part forward more?
Yeah,
That's all you're doing.
okay.
Okay, so you're just doing that visually. It's just smoke and mirrors.
Okay, perfect. That helps. I'll try that.
Anybody else?
Carol, there's a question in the chat that says, what do you have any tips for bronze skin?
For bronze skin, when you're doing your, it depends. What exactly are you asking? Like, there's lots of tips for bronze skin. I don't have bronze skin, so it's very hard to demo that on myself. It's a little problematic, but basically what you want to do is you want to brighten up. So instead of trying to deepen areas, work on lightening areas. So instead of, you know, especially with contour, instead of trying to create contour, do lighter here and lighter here. But be very mindful of ashiness. You don't want it to look like it's sitting on top of the skin or that it's a different undertone. So be very careful with undertone. And since I don't see who's asking me, I can't tell you.
Her name is Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. So, I mean, really just talk to your beauty consultant and get her to figure it out with you and send you some samples and things, because there's lots of different ways that you can do that to lighten it up. Where the application is exactly the same. Oh, you are a beauty consultant. Okay, so talk to your director too, but really just play with it. That's the beauty. We get it at half price, so whatever. Mess around with it, right? Write it off. Don't forget to write it off and get back your GST, but just mess around. So you want to go lighter here and lighter here, not like ivory lighter, like just a lighter tone of bronze. Shouldn't look stripy. Okay, and then really make sure that you're playing up your best features. So you'll see I do a lot with my cheeks because like they're pretty good and I'm pretty smiley. So it's okay if they're a little bit shimmery on my cheeks. And I have to make my eyes look bigger because otherwise they're gone. But if I don't, then I go with a brighter lip. So you're just playing. You're looking at what you're doing and you're like playing with it. Now, like I like to line my eyes all the way around, and that's not typically a small eye rule, but on me it works. So you just play. It's not a tattoo. Have some confidence to try it. And like, don't you think the masks are like the best way to try it? Nobody can see the rest of you. Play with some fun eye colors. Try something out. Anybody else?
I've tried to, just recently tried to cover some sunspots with my concealer, and it turns them like gray.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
it
not what I
will.
was going for.
That's not what you're going for at all. So what you want to do is you want to counteract that color. So a lot of times that is more of like a brownish, yellowy color, which means you're going to go to the opposite on the color wheel. Like Diana Carrero says, look at the color wheel. So that's where you can play with things like color correcting. You used to have those color correcting sticks, but you can play with that with a matte shade of eyeshadow too, or a blush even. Right? So you can go with like the opposite on the color wheel to that orange, you know, you can go to like a green or something else to try to pull that up forward. Usually a purpley is best to brighten. So anything that's a bit more purple is going to bring that forward and just play around with it. The other thing is under eye corrector is your best friend that way because it's going to brighten instead of just, it won't be gray because it's got that peachy undertone. But really blend. You know, and try foundation first. Always put your foundation on first before you start concealing. Unless you're just really a big fan of spackle. And you play, right? Like there's lots of cool tips. Like if you have a lot of redness in your skin, you know, try translucent powder before you put anything else on. If you have a spot on your skin where you've like maybe overwaxed and the skin is like raw, put translucent powder on and finishing spray before you put anything else on. I'm not speaking from personal experience at all. Right before seminar. And I was like, it didn't come off. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. It didn't work for me, not so much. So, you know, things like that, or sunburn, stuff like that. Translucent powder is great for that. And you can layer a cream over top of a translucent powder. And when all else fails, except for mask season, a bright lipstick is your best friend. So yes, this is a neutral lip, but you have to play up something else if you're going to do a nude lip. Otherwise, you just look like a corpse. And they're not sexy. So if you're going to go with like a basic nude face, go with a bright lip because it's going to be the best friend. And it always makes you look totally put together. Anybody else have anything else that you need? I hope this was helpful to you. I know a lot of you are beauty consultants too, so hopefully you can pick up some of the things I say, and the way I say it is how I describe it in a Zoom class or even a real live class. Make things simple for people. Put eyeshadow where you can feel eyeball, right? Things like that. Just be really simple and be really clear, and use lots of analogies and make things fun. And don't forget, just keep blending. What do? You blend. All right, I'm gonna go now. There's a wine glass waiting for me. Love you guys. Hopefully that was helpful. Talk to your beauty consultant and she'll hook you up.